Good evening, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your third and final video blog of the night for Sunday, November 1st, 2015, around 8:28 p.m. in Boston, Massachusetts. Dark out now. Going to go to the mid-40s, which is tonight, which is actually several degrees above average for the low time at night, which is good. That means no frosty things or frost and stuff. Tomorrow's going to be in the 60s, and all of this week's going to be 60s and 70s, which is good. Some news to report. San Antonio Spurs beat the Boston Celtics by the score of 95-87. Celtics played competitive and stuff towards the end, and they're going to be good, the Celtics, this year. Give them some time. They're going to have to gel. And sad news to report in the world of Hollywood and politics. Former U.S. Senator from Tennessee turned actor Fred Thompson passed away at the age of 73 after a long battle with cancer. So prayers to his family. Fred was on Law and Order. That's about it on the news. My third and final video blog subject of the night is the return of my personality profile. Tonight's personality profile is about one of the most famous radio newsmen of all time, broadcasters. I'm talking about the late, great Paul Harvey. Paul Harvey hosted Paul Harvey's News and Comments for ABC Radio for over 60 years, and he was pretty good at it. Paul was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma. His real name was Paul Harvey Ardant, and when he was younger, he loved to make radio receivers as a boy. He had so much collections of it. When he went to high school, one of his teachers says he had a great voice, and that voice sounded like he could be on the radio and stuff. And then Paul got his first job working at a radio station in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the age of 14. He was like kind of reading news and stuff, and he also did some cleaning up. Paul went to the University of Tulsa, and after he graduated, he worked on radio in several markets, including Kansas, Oklahoma City, and St. Louis, doing a variety of stuff: news reporting, voiceovers, and even program director. And in the early 1940s, Paul moved to Hawaii and stuff. He was in Hawaii when Pearl Harbor was attacked in 1941. He worked for a lot of Hawaiian radio stations covering that and World War II. He actually was briefly enlisted in the U.S. Navy for 3 months during World War II, like in 1943, but he was honorably discharged. He moved back to the lower 48 in the spring of 1944 in Chicago, and then he was based out of Chicago for the rest of his broadcasting career, working in local radio stations there, doing news and voiceovers. And in 1946, he added to his news programming in Chicago about the rest of the story type things, which he would report on some odd things. And he always would talk about the subject, lack security, particularly on a Argonian National Lab, which was 20 miles west of Chicago. That lab was working on nuclear weapons and stuff, which back then in the 1940s, that thing was a no-no to say on the radio and stuff like that. And a lot of people, especially in the Chicago and Illinois area, really did not like that. They just said Paul Harvey should be investigated and thrown off the air. And there was about stuff about yellow journalism at Paul Harvey. The U.S. Attorney in Illinois looked into an investigation in that and an indictment for Paul Harvey, but when they came up, there was nothing to prove that if it was yellow journalism and stuff. and it was denied and stuff. But Paul Harvey went on to bigger things. He was so popular in Chicago that ABC Radio wanted to syndicate his news and comment shows that was in Chicago. And then in October 1st, 1951, Paul Harvey's news and comments debuted on ABC Radio. And at its peak, the show was carried by 1,200 radio stations in the United States and Canada, another 400 armed forces networks throughout military bases that had U.S. troops around the world, and 300 newspapers. Paul Harvey's style was very, very good. He would always have his things. Hello, Americans. This is Paul Harvey. Stand by for news. And sometimes he would add some stuff. Here's a strange thing and stuff like that. And for what it's worth, and he would always close his broadcast. Paul Harvey, good day. His radio broadcast got so popular and stuff. It was broadcast locally in Boston for many years on WBZ radio. His like news and comments thing was usually from noontime to 12:15 and stuff. And I loved listening to his news and comments stuff. He would tell the latest news and stuff. He would tell some hardball stories and stuff. And once in a while, he would say he would do some stuff was a little bit crazy on there for what he reported. And he would always do voiceovers for like products he would sell, especially airborne products, and something to do with macular degeneration with like to get checked everything for it. And he became so popular that many newscasts that were like ABC affiliates from the late 1960s through the early 1980s had like a TV version of Paul Harvey's editorials, 5 minutes. Many ABC stations had the option of carrying it. Many of them did, and they were pretty good and stuff like that. And Paul Harvey also added his like the rest of the story, which was Odd Things, that debuted in 1976, and it lasted until his death. But once in a while, he would have his son Paul Harvey Jr. host that, and other people. And then from time to time, people would sub in for Paul Harvey when he was on vacation or he wasn't feeling good or whatever. Some of the people were Ron Chapman and Gil Gross as the primary ones. But he had like Mike Huckabee and Mitt Romney and others. And Paul loved to fly. He was he was big on aviation and stuff like that. He won many awards for his news and stuff like that. And in 2005, he won the Presidential Medal of Freedom and stuff. He's one of the few radio broadcasters to get the Presidential Medal of Freedom award. Something tells me that Rush Limbaugh probably will not get a Medal of Freedom award anytime soon. And Paul wrote many books, several books and stuff like that. Paul was married for many years to his wife Lynn, which he called Angel. They had one son, Paul Jr. And when Angel died in 2008, Paul took several weeks off to mourn her death and stuff like that. And when Paul was getting up there in age, he would do his news and comments program a couple of days a week and have the substitute hosts do it the other days and stuff. He used to do news and comments a lot for many years, but towards the end, he let his son, Paul Jr., do it. And Paul Harvey, passed away at the age of 90 in February of 2009. A couple of weeks prior, he did his final news broadcast and stuff, which he was doing decent health and stuff. And his news and comments thing was never replaced and stuff, because you can't replace his news and comments thing, because Paul was the best in doing that and stuff. Had so many catchphrases and stuff. And he was a great radio broadcaster. He was towards the end, he was in the last year of his 10-year contract, he got paid well over $100 million for the contract he last signed with ABC Radio and stuff like that. And that's about it on Paul Harvey. And that's about it on these video blogs. You will be getting 3 more tomorrow: Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. First video blog will be about the top 10 list of the greatest CBS sports announcers of all time. Second video blog tomorrow will be about MBTA bus route number 1 that goes from Dudley Square to Harvard Square. And third and final video blog of the night will be about the late great Jim McKay. Lots of great stuff coming here in the month of November. You be very happy. There's going to be a blog coming soon about Minnesota and Orlando, Florida, and other great stuff. And coming in 2 weeks will be the start of Survivor Series pay-per-view reviews for the WWE. Keep calm, and I'm Julie Bunny-Guy. And Molly Rosenblatt of Fox 35 Rocks, and Elizabeth Hart, so stunning is the best. And in the words of Paul Harvey, good day, bye now.